Testing. Awesome. Welcome, guys. This is Raymond J. Negro, Beyond Failure to Reach Success. And what I do is I help people from where they are to go where they want to go with a dream business. I help them create the foundations that I help them 2x, 4x that, and move that all online. But today, what I'm discussing is, what do you think about suffering, right? Word suffer. What does it mean for you? What does it mean to you? And in the words, I believe I heard this from David Meltzer, as he said, things don't happen to you and they don't happen for you, they happen through you. And I believe things do happen for you. I don't believe they happen to you unless you're a victim. If you're a victim, then they happen to you. But if you are a realist and an idealist, and you believe things happen for you and because of you, that's a growth-oriented mindset. And I was recently listening to an audible on the man's search for meaning and Viktor Frankl's experience at the death camps. And through his creation, I just spit on myself, through his creation of living a suffering life within a concentration camp. He was actually writing a book when he was in a concentration camp, and he put it on these memos of paper, and I believe he was hiding them under something. Someone found them and destroyed them. I think they burnt them. And he had to recreate everything from his mind, and he created this thing called logotherapy. And one thing is, this man learned about suffering and a lot of things, and something I've been thinking about is human, right, achievements are existed through when we decide to suffer. And there's different degrees of suffering of what we want out of life, right? If you're willing, like I fast once a week, and most people are like, what, you go 24 hours without food? And I said, yeah, I take one day. No one even knows I'm doing it other than you guys obviously listening to me now. No, but I fast for a 24-hour period of time, one day a week. And I was considering moving it to 2 days a week. For now, I'm doing 1 day a week. And it was actually yesterday. It's Sundays or Mondays. I choose one of those days. And it's not suffering to suffer, but it's a thing that leads me to growth. I notice my hormones are more imbalanced. It makes my energy more abundant when I'm not constantly feeding or bringing in food into my body. And that's a physical thing. It actually helps energize my mind and my consciousness. I notice things clear up on my skin, right? I notice there's a growth accentuated through that and a higher elevation of thinking, right? To go in a 24-hour period, and it's a wet fast. I'm drinking water through it, and I'm having coffee. But the thing is, I notice even through exercising, I exercise about 3 times a day for 20 minutes. I do it here at my office. Is that when I have to do things, when I have things to do, they're easier because I can move my body more. I can suffer because I know there's existential growth, right? And there's different ways of looking at suffering. You know, if you're constantly suffering in a cycle, right? The reason why I believe that suffering exists, and I'm still learning about this, but it's giving you a message to do something about it, right? You can either look at it as, okay, this is a challenge, and I need to lean into it to figure out what I need to do about it, or I will continue to suffer. Then there's like the suffering of doing things, and there's false starts and stops along the way too. But when you actually lean into suffering, when you lean into doing the thing that's difficult, you get results that other people in that rare air will never get, right? And I got to drink water. And I notice these things. And I notice the benefits I get when I push myself to do things that I wouldn't normally do, right? Fasting being one of them. Focusing myself deeply and intently into learning subjects. Like I'm listening to the Audible book on Man's Search for Meaning, and I'm really listening to it because this is a man who's actually went through something that's very extreme that most of us will never ever go through in our life. We may think we're going through it, but the actuality of thoughts and reality are two different things. Most people will never be in a concentration camp or actually ever have to suffer as a concentration campy or a slave of any sort, or the people listening to this, and if you are, find meaning in it. If there's a structure of meaning of it. And one thing that Viktor Frankl was talking about was that there was actually more degrees of suffering. You can actually suffer at a greater degree, which builds you to be resilient and anti-fragile to most things. And it's an elevated state of thinking, right? There's also things that I believe, and I'm still learning about this, but I've suffered through working out. I work out 6 days a week, every week. There's not a day I don't, and then fasting, right? Which I think is very important. And I've taken it away and added it, but it's a degree. And the thing is, it just becomes something I do. I don't even think about it. I'm just like, oh, today I just don't eat for 24 hours, right? And then I'm going to work on putting 2 days a week into play into that. While the other days, really eating nutritious foods that actually add vitality and energy into my life. And I think it's a great thing to do. And also, because some people look at, I suffer every day. You suffer up here every day if you're not willing to move into the things that you want in life. Because suffering is a choice, right? Suffering is a thought that we choose to look at it in that way that either debilitates us, or we can look at it in a way that it recreates us, it re-engineers us, it reinforces us to be a more powerful version of the self. Okay, and whatever that is for you, I just kind of wanted to talk about this. Like, what do you think suffering means, and what does it mean to you? To me, suffering means sacrificing, and sacrificing doesn't mean anything bad. To me, it just means, oh, okay, I got to do without that, right? And I believe even during this time of COVID, I believe it was actually, I was thinking about it today, like it helped people clean out their houses, clean out clutter. I mean, there's a lot of negative things with that too, but it also taught you how to look at the life around you that wasn't working for you. Maybe you realize I'm an indentured servant, I'm a totalitarian servant to an employee, right? And I must do this, work for somebody else so that I don't want to do that anymore. I want to have to kind of create my own economy and create my own environment. And there's a bridge to build from there to go to there. There always is. There's always a bridge to be built from where you are to where you want to go. And I believe suffering is being passionate about something, be willing to do the work, to be the best at it, right? In life, like fasting for me, and I'm just talking about one form of suffering, which to me isn't even suffering. I'm used to it. The first few times I remember doing it, I was like, oh, all I could think about was food. But once you remove those things from you and you focus your attention on something else, because action trumps worry. Action, if you're worried about something, take action on it. Take action on the thing that you're worrying about, because most of us choose not to do that. We don't take the actions on the things that actually we have power, right? We have 100% choice on what we need to do. We have 100% discipline on what we need to do. We have 100% ability and capabilities that go untapped because we choose to suffer. We choose to worry. We choose to stress about something that's out of our control, but we can control what we're going through inside of our minds. We can choose to look at it as something that takes us out of the game or puts us in the game and lean into it, because as humans, that's what we are capable of doing. There's other experiences of other people going through what you went through that have come out the other side and like just further ahead because they choose to do something about it. And I want you to choose whatever you're suffering through to either look at it as a call to do something about it, right? Or maybe a call to have your peace with it, right? Imagine what that would be like for you to just have peace with something. Maybe it could be anything, because there's going to be a time in our life when we have to have peace with something that we either let get out of control and then it ended us, or we choose to have control now on the way we think about it, what we can do about it, right? Because most of us have all the answers to what we truly need to do, but we're choosing not to do anything about it. Just choosing to be victims instead of victors. And I believe when you could suffer for something that you truly believe in later, while living in the reality of doing it now, right? And knowing that you're going to create that outcome and you're going to do you don't know when it's going to happen. It's just going to happen, but you're in the reality where you're at now, and you're working towards creating that which you want. And again, you're building the bridge to it, right? And you're partnering with people that are going to help you get there with whatever it is. And I'm just kind of talking in vague terms, but really think about where you could build that bridge from whatever it is that you believe is just a part of life, but you're not doing anything about it. And I do hope that's helpful. I'm going to end this now, but I would love if you put in the comments below, what do you think about suffering and what does it mean for you, right? What does it mean through you to suffer? And I can only speak for myself, and I'm enjoying the things that I'm doing that are helping me, because I don't believe they're suffering. Some people would look at it that way, but I believe that they're building. They're helping me. You know, my human achievements go through existential suffering. And I believe, like all human achievements, go through a little degree of existential suffering. And it's the meaning we give it, right? You can look at things from, maybe might be a 2 for me and they're a 10 for you, but that's the challenge in the growth. That's a challenge in growing and developing who we are as human beings. And I hope that was helpful. And for some reason, I don't think I had the volume up. But anyway, again, I'm Raymond J. Negron, and I'm a guide, and I'm here to help. I'd love your comments below, because this is stuff I study. I'm very disciplined in what I do. I believe in being one of the greatest guides on the planet, starting with helping people and understanding things and truly seeding things like, the seed of things that grow in our minds. When we could choose to do the hard things, right? I always say, hard life now, easy life later. Easy life now, hard life later. And a mentor of mine said that to me. And it sticks with me, even at my ripe age, So wish you guys a great day. And stay excellent, man. Take care of yourself. Bye.